Okay, number one here, this is part one. I'll probably say this 2 or 3 times, but I'm going to revoice a Michael Kelly mandolin because the wood is thick on the inside. The back's got to come off to thin things down. And there's specs online. I'll repeat this, but I want you to know you can't learn how to do anything. I've never taken a back off of a mandolin. I've already started taking a purfling off, and I'll show you some videos on that. But you can't learn anything if you don't do it. I like messing with instruments. I've taken a fiddle apart before and worked on it. Sounds pretty good. And but the thing of it is, you can't learn anything if you don't do it. But don't do what I do. You're on your own. I always say that. You're on your own if you're doing something. So this is a Michael Kelly. And I want you to watch the videos here. And there will be more videos coming up as I work on this project. And I will let you know whether it works or not when I get to the very end. It may take me a month to get this thing done. I'm taking the lacquer off, and I've already started on the back. You'll see some more videos here. I'm going to show you some things, what you need to see. But don't do what I do. You just always pray about everything. I like to pray about everything. And I thank the good Lord that he gives me, you know, what he gives me. And God is good is all I can say. But I want you to know you're on your own when you do this project. And I'll be sending some videos out. There's no videos that I've seen where anybody's taken a mandolin apart. And there's a couple on there, but it don't really show you much. And I want to show you everything I can on this. And I hope you enjoy these videos. And just keep looking and watching if you're wanting to learn how to revoice your mandolin. That's what I'm working on, is to revoice it. The wood's got to be thinner, and I'll show you some things on that. Okay, guys, all you instruments that you play instruments, guitar, mandolin, fiddle, and all of that stuff, wood makes a difference. Citrus spruce makes a difference. Good spruce wood. And on this mandolin here, you see I'm holding a MK, which is a Michael Kelly. This one was 22 years old. It was made in Korea. They were pretty good mandolins, but they had a high tone, most of them. I'm sure there was, I heard one guy play one time. That's why I bought this one. His sounded so good. But this one here was just too high tone, and it's going to be revoiced. I want to just give you some ideas on this. And you'll see I've took off the strings, and I will be taking these off too, because I'm sanding this mandolin down, and I'm taking the back off. But you'll see how thick the lacquer they got on. I'm trying to get you some good pictures there, how thick it is. And like I say, this is 22 years old. I did everything I can to make it play better and sound better, but it still has that high-pitched sound. Especially the E and A string. I like a mandolin that's got growl in it and bark. And so I'm going to show you and tell you some things here that'll help you. This is part one. I hope you'll give me a, sub us if you will. Give us a like. That's up to you. It doesn't matter. But just showing you, this is a turkey call, and the wood is not right. Excuse me. The wood is not right in it. And so listen to the pitch of this. It really needs to be thinned down, high pitch. I don't believe a turkey's going to really come to that. Now, I didn't make that one. My friend gave me that one, and I appreciated that. But it's the wood too, the wood tone. But here's one made out of hickory, and also it has a top on it that is, a good top. But just showing you the difference in the sound. It doesn't matter what this is made out of. But I make turkey calls. This is a long box, and you got the high-low pitch. And it's the woods that you use, and it's how thin you get the wood. And so just want to show you that. That's just giving you an idea. So this mandolin has got a lot of lacquer on it, and also it's very thick. I don't know if you can see the thickness in the F-hole. If you compare this to a lot of mandolins that are made, this in here is thick. It needs a 1/16 of an inch taken off. And so I'll show you some tools that you're going to need. I'll show you what I've already done to it. And I've still got to sand more on the back. I've started taking the inlay, or you can call it the purfling, the binding. I took some of that off, and it did break on the back, some of it. And But this is the front. I hadn't sanded anything here, but the back I've already started sanding. And you'll have to sand until, you know, you get the lacquer off. This is almost off, but it's still got some on it. But you don't want, I don't want to take the paint color off. I just want to get most of the lacquer off. And I will be spraying it with one coat of lacquer, and I'll show you that later on. This is part one. And I have already taken some binding off. I've got all the way up to here. And you will, if you're not careful, you will take some places out of this wood. You've got to score that binding to keep from messing up your wood. And you'll see in there the place. There's a place there where you take the mandolin back off, and I'll show you that too. So some things that you're going to need. I got some of these old Hardy gloves here from Harbor Freight. That's good to hold that razor blade with. I got some X-Acto knives. Got a couple of these. You may have to change these out when you go to cutting, and you'll need some of these type of razor blades to score with. What I'm talking about is it needs to be scored around the edges, especially that bottom. You've got to go in there and take your time and just get down in there, and hope you can see this, and just go, you know, score it. Cut it down. Get it down to that wood. And you can take this off. I don't know how far I'm going to go right here. I may leave this on here. I'm scoring as deep as I can on the bottom around this part. And hopefully it might just come off when I start taking the mandolin off. And I'll probably take the binding off all the way back to here. I'm going to just see how that works. I may have to take all the binding off on the back. But this back has got to come off. And it's going to have to be thinned in these areas right in here. You got to be careful here. The back ain't so much, but you can tell this wood is thick. It don't have that pop like it needs. Even the front, it really don't have that pop. It's just the wood is thick, so it's going to have to be sanded on the inside, and I'll show you that. So this is part one, just showing you some things about tools. Remember, you need some gloves, some wiping rags. Also, I use a fan in a window. I turn that on so I can blow out. If you can see that, I can blow out the dust. You don't want that dust breathing it. It's not good for you. One other thing I would like to say, I did start with 120 grit sandpaper, and that'll, you know, just, you don't want to sand real hard. You just want to sand enough to get stuff. Get that stuff off, and then you might want to move to a 300 grit or 320. I'm sorry, this is Hercules. It comes from Harbor Freight. Pretty good stuff. And then I'm down on the back to 600 grit. And what I want to tell you is when you get to where when you're sanding, you don't want to sand your color off. But when this gets to where there's no white in it, that's the lacquer that's coming off. You want to get it down to where, you know, you can tell there's no more lacquer. You'll see it on this. And you can take a rag and brush this off. Do it toward the fan or whatever you got. If you're working outside, may not matter so much. But try not to breathe the stuff. And some tools that I got when I take the back off, I'm going to be using some tools that are, you know, these are palette knives. You can get these. They're very reasonable. They're not much at all. So you're going to need some palette knives when you take the back off. And I'm going to show you all of that. I even have some of these glasses when I'm cutting through. You can buy these, they're not that much. Sometimes you just need that. And another thing that you'll need when you get the back off and you start sanding down, you can go online and find the specs on the mandolin. And this is something that I bought, and it's a gauge. It gives you millimeters, and also it gives you inches, like 1/8 of an inch or whatever. You got to know how thick that mandolin is. And you also know that there is, your bars are on the inside of the front that run. They should run kind of this way. I think this one does. At the angle of the F-holes. I'll look at it when I get inside and show you. But this is part one, like I say. So just hang in there. I'll have another video coming up before too long. I hope you enjoy this video. And give us a like if you're wanting to see this. Subscribe to us if you want to see this. And it gives me more an encouragement of working, and we don't get much out of this. YouTube, I want to tell you, YouTube don't pay us much, but we just do it to help you. And by the way, my son-in-law, we did a lot of videos together, but we're kind of, he's doing things now and I'm doing things. He's got 2 children, and all of that matters. You know, we got to do what we can. And so I hope you'll subscribe to us. But this is an old Michael Kelly. You can see how thick that lacquer is. That, to me, that hurts some, but really the inside, the thickness is what we got to get down. And I'm going to show you some videos on how I do all of this, taking off the rest of the binding. I'll show you that. And also when we get down to the backside, I'll show you the thickness and what we need to take off and where you need to take it off at. So hold on, guys. God bless. Have a great day.